Today we're going to look at South Asia today. We're going to look at how these people live off of the land. We're then going to look at how some are involved in cottage industries and some are involved in high-tech sectors. We're going to look in detail at the caste system. Even though it was outlawed, it's still around. Then we're going to finish by looking at human adaptation and how humans are sustaining a certain type of crop in bamboo so that it'll be around for future use. Hope you enjoy. South Asia today. First thing I want to look at is living from the land. Most people in this region are subsistence farmers, which you can see in your dark green here. That's what most of the economic activity revolves around, is subsistence farming. And we know that's not very good on the economy. Excuse me. In Nepal and Bhutan, they rely on terrace farming because of their mountains. Remember, with terrace farming, they cut these terraces in the sides of these mountains so that they could farm on these flat spots on the edge of these mountains. As the water runs off the mountains, it pulls up in these areas, and they're able to farm on those areas. Farmers in South Asia today are being trained to use modern technology such as irrigation, pest control, and fertilization to help increase their productivity and to help them be able to feed more people because of their growing population numbers. Next thing I want to look at is cottage industries. Cottage industries employ workers in their homes. A lot of cottage industries in this region revolve around textiles, such as what you see in these pictures here, kind of fabrics, quilts, throws, those sorts of things. And you can see the workers in this cottage industry are all family members, and it's kind of a hobby that they're doing to create these textiles, these rugs, and these fabrics, but it provides a much-needed extra income. You also have certain cottage industries that revolve around crafts in this region. Crafts as in fixing small items to sell. That sound means it's quiz o'clock with your first question. Define cottage industry and explain how cottage industries are in South Asia. For example, what types of products are they producing in cottage industries? And then the high-tech sector. This is a growing industry in South Asia. Millions of Indians, again, Indians as in people living in India, not Native Americans, millions of Indians use the internet already. Tertiary economic activities are what's becoming more and more the types of jobs that are available because of technology. As companies in the United States are outsourcing to these areas, especially in these areas of manufacturing and trade, these are the areas that you're going to have the tertiary type jobs. Being an English speaker in India can be pretty profitable because that can mean that you work in the call centers that are being outsourced to India, and it provides a lot better job and a lot better pay than subsistence farming. You're able to produce more money than in subsistence farming, because in subsistence farming there's really not any money. It's all about survival. Now moving on to the caste system. The caste system is a social class system in this region. It was officially outlawed in 1947, but you still see its evidence today. It's still around despite being outlawed in 1947. What the caste system does, again, it's a social class, and if you are born in the warrior or the king class, because of the caste system, you will not move up or move down. You are stuck in this caste until you are reborn as something else. When you are reborn, depending on your karma, if your karma was good, you'll move up. If your karma was bad, you'll move down. So your caste revolves around where you were born and how you acted. But there's no way of moving up. In other words, if your family is poor when you were born, you're going to be poor in this life. You don't have a choice. You're stuck in that caste. You're not going to be able to get out. And for the most part, you do not marry outside of your caste. So if you're in the Sudras, the peasants, You're going to marry in the Sudras and in the peasants. That means your kids are going to be Sudras. They're going to be peasants. They're not going to be able to move up in these social classes, which is a difficult system that's in place in India because people aren't able to better themselves because they're looked upon as being stuck in a class. This one at the bottom, the untouchables that you see, the untouchables get their name from the idea that you shouldn't touch them. These are the slaves. These people literally live kind of in the garbage dumps. These are the ones that are out of the caste system. They may be a different type of people that are living in this area. And you literally don't touch them because the idea is they're full of diseases, which is very, very sad because these people are stuck in this caste until their reincarnation. Describe the caste system and describe what makes it a bad system for South Asia. Human adaptation. One way of seeing adaptation in this region is seeing these houses that are put up on these stilts. These houses are put up on these stilts so that when the monsoon rains come and this region floods, it will not wash away the house. This house will still be here. This is a form of human adaptation because these people are adapting to their environment. They're adapting to the monsoon floods to put their houses higher up so the houses themselves don't flood and wash away. And then last but not least, sustainable development. Remember, sustainable development is talking about using the resources now in a way that they'll still be around in the future. One aspect of sustainable development in this region is bamboo. Bamboo in parts of this region, as you can see on the map on your left, these are the squares in this area. Bamboo represents a major farming source for trade, and there's massive plantations that grow bamboo. In India, in fact, they're doing a lot of research on bamboo and the genetic improvement of bamboo to make sure that there's more efficient ways of mass producing this type of crop. Because of the genetic changes to the bamboo, it's kind of showing you the renewable source that bamboo can become by genetically modifying the plant itself so that it can produce even more. So because they're going in and doing this research and changing the DNA structure of the plants itself, it's a form of sustainable development because they're sustaining this crop for future use. And they're sustaining it so that it doesn't get wiped out.